He's three law firms on retainer. I don't know how much money is coming in, but I know that a lot of money is going out every single month for Diddy.
Not surprised. You know, we all know who he is and how we get down, so that don't surprise me.
Tupac's own brother just shattered everything we thought we knew about hip-hop's greatest mystery. Mopreme Shakur allegedly picked up the phone during a leaked interview and called Tupac himself. And y'all, Tupac answered, "We're not talking about some static-filled prank call from a strip mall radio station." According to multiple insiders who claimed they were in the room, Tupac answered calm, alive, and breathing. But here's the kicker. He didn't just chat about the weather or his favorite Cuban beach. He promised he'd appear soon to testify against his attackers, and Diddy's name is all over this mess. This is the kind of moment that spins your stomach sideways and makes you question everything you thought you knew about that night in Vegas. Is this the long-awaited proof we've been searching for? Or just another smoke bomb in a world already drenched in clickbait conspiracy theories? The boy Puffy called me, though. Puffy called me back in the day. He was like, "I just want you to know I ain't have nothing to do with your brother's death," Mopreme revealed during the interview. It gets messier. That's where the real tension ignites. Because for almost 30 years, everyone from record label interns to conspiracy theorists has tried to decode what really happened that night in Las Vegas. Fans still remember the scene. Tupac just 25 years old in the passenger seat with Suge Knight, minutes after leaving the MGM Grand, the bullets, the black BMW, the slow spiral of police sirens and hospital lights that changed hip-hop forever. In the aftermath, we watched his mother speak of her son's quiet exit, read the coroner's report, and scrutinized every contradiction.
The boy Puffy called me, though. Puffy called me back in the day. He called me, he was like, "I just want you to know I ain't have nothing to do with your brother's,
Why wasn't Tupac wearing his bulletproof vest that night? Why did no one catch the shooter's face on the strip's busiest intersection? Even now, nobody trusts the official story because there are too many open questions, too much money involved, and too much history that got erased with a simple shrug from authorities. But here's what's wild. All these years later, here's Mopreme Shakur sitting in a studio with cryptic glances and measured answers, raising the possibility that everything we know might be completely wrong. During the alleged interview, sources say Mopreme's voice doesn't crack or reach for tears. Instead, there's that careful pause. He's weighing secrets he's held since childhood. Secrets that might finally matter in a courtroom, not just a YouTube comment section filled with conspiracy theories. According to the leak, Tupac's own words through that phone call dropped the ultimate promise. He's alive and he's about to testify against the people who tried to destroy him. But testify against whom exactly? That's where this story turns absolutely radioactive. Because if even a fraction of this is real, there's one man in America who should be sweating bullets right now. Sean Diddy Combs is about to face his worst nightmare coming true. That's Puffy's homie. They have a relationship. They're friendly. They know each other. Sources revealed about the connections that have been hidden for decades. But check this out. Let's not tiptoe around the elephant in the room anymore. Diddy has been the gravitational center of these murder rumors for years, sometimes outright accused, sometimes subtly alluded to, sometimes rapping about diamonds while his legal teams put out fires behind the scenes. Right now, though, he's trapped in a nightmare of his own making that's getting worse by the day. He's been indicted on racketeering charges, facing a human trafficking trial in federal court, denied bail multiple times, and accused by over 100.
I just get right on the side of his head and just start talking to him in his ear. Just talking to him.
Victims of orchestrating an empire of coercion and exploitation that spans decades. Just this month, prosecutors admitted in open court that one of their key witnesses has mysteriously vanished without a trace. The defense is already sharpening their knives, arguing that some of these stories involve consensual activities. But the prosecutors, Homeland Security, and federal agents seem completely unconvinced by those explanations. Y'all ain't ready for this part. Diddy could spend the rest of his life in a federal prison cell if the government gets their way. So the absolute last thing he needs right now is a headline saying Tupac's ghost just RSVP'd to testify against him in court. Court documents show that Keefe D named Diddy 77 times in relation to Tupac's murder. And it's not just Mopreme's suspicion we're dealing with here. Over and over, Diddy's name echoes through sworn police interviews, wiretapped confessions, and legal transcripts thick enough to choke a team of lawyers. Take Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, the former Compton gang boss currently awaiting his own trial, for the Las Vegas shooting that allegedly killed Tupac. Prosecutors say Keefe D confessed repeatedly that Diddy offered him millions of dollars to take out both Tupac and Suge Knight after their East Coast-West Coast rivalry reached a boiling point. Keefe D's version of events is brutally blunt about what allegedly went down behind the scenes. After Tupac released Hit 'Em Up, absolutely torching the East Coast with verses aimed straight at Bad Boy Records and Diddy personally, Diddy allegedly snapped completely. "I'll give anything for that dude's head," Keefe D claims Diddy told him in a room with multiple witnesses.
Man, that's Puffy's homie. You know what I mean? They have a relationship. They're friendly. They know each other.
Present. He didn't write a check himself, but Keefe D says the cash flowed through an associate called Zip, who allegedly pocketed the bounty money. We was like, damn, we can get paid now, Keefe D reportedly said about the opportunity to make money from murder. But here's where it gets really twisted. Court records show Diddy's name came up 47 times in police transcripts related to Tupac's murder investigation. That's not just gossip or conspiracy theories anymore. That's an official legal paper trail that prosecutors can follow. Even the most devoted Diddy fans, the same ones who once believed he was bulletproof and untouchable, are starting to hedge their bets as the evidence piles up. The story now is less about platinum records and Grammy Awards, and more about hidden phone calls, missing witnesses, and a federal judge who just denied his bail request for the third time. The world's watching as Diddy sits in a federal courtroom trying to explain away disturbing videos and stories of a criminal empire that sounds more like a Netflix documentary than a pop star's memoir. As prosecutors line up former partners, ex-employees, and alleged victims, one question pulses beneath every headline. What does Diddy really know about that night in Vegas? And why does he look so much more nervous than he ever did performing on stage in front of thousands of screaming fans? I'm quite sure everything Death Row signed is death row, so I'm quite sure before it's said and done, all eyes on me and Machiavelli have definitely had to come back, Mopreme said cryptically about his brother's posthumous releases and hidden messages. Meanwhile, Mopreme isn't letting the pressure crack his poker face despite decades of speculation and investigation. The truth is still yet to come out, so we going to see, he told Piers Morgan when pressed about Diddy's repeated denials of involvement. Not the angry, grieving brother we might expect after all these years of unanswered questions. Instead, he's a man holding cards close to his chest.
Diddy named Diddy 77 times in court documents related to Tupac's,
refusing to draw conclusions before the final hand is played. Even when Morgan pushes harder, asking, "Do you think Diddy was lying?" Mopreme just shrugs with calculated coolness. Quite possibly, and it's kind of looking that way in my opinion, he responded, and you can almost feel the tension in that interview room. The old wounds are leaking just enough suspicion to keep the story alive and burning in the public consciousness. It's no secret the Shakur family has always viewed Diddy's denials with serious side-eye and skepticism. Now, with the family hiring celebrity attorney Alex Spiro, yes, that Alex Spiro who just beat the rush shooting charges for Alec Baldwin, the search for answers is officially in overdrive. As far as is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate, and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life with all the charges he has, legal experts explained about Diddy's desperate situation. So where does this all lead if Mopreme's alleged phone call is actually real? If that's true, then Tupac isn't just the world's most legendary rapper. He's also potentially the government's newest star witness in a case that could destroy multiple careers and reputations. Suddenly, all the wildest conspiracy threads from the 1990s don't seem quite so wild anymore. The Cuba sightings, body doubles, cryptic Machiavelli clues, mysterious posthumous albums, everything starts making sense in a terrifying way. Michael Nice, the bodyguard who swore he helped fly Tupac to safety, always insisted his story made perfect sense. Why you think nobody been arrested if they said they the one that did it? Because Tupac's not gone. If he was, they'd be arresting those dudes for homicide, he argued. And then there's Suge Knight himself, who smirked during an interview saying he's somewhere smoking a Cuban cigar on an island. But wait, it gets deeper. The more prosecutors dig into Diddy's current legal troubles, the more the ground under his feet seems to tremble and crack.
I'm quite sure everything, I am death row. Suge Knight is death row. So I'm quite sure, before it's said and done, all eyes on me and Machiavelli out of Fox have definitely come back.
If the old rules of the street still apply, the math is brutally simple. Everyone involved has their own price, their own paranoia, and their own reason to keep quiet or suddenly start talking when handcuffs get involved. Keefe D, now cornered in a jail cell awaiting trial, has already shown investigators he's willing to confess when it serves his interests. Former detectives say the reason everything is coming out now is because the old street code is completely broken. Once handcuffs are on, they'll sell out their own mom, retired FBI field chief Phil Carson admitted recently. The connection between Diddy's current legal disasters and the old Tupac case may not be coincidence at all. It might be karma finally catching up. If that's true, and if the Shakur family really does have a living Tupac on speed dial, we could be days away from courtroom drama that leaves reputations and entire music empires in absolute ruins. If that's part of the indictment, that's almost like blackmail. He was blackmailing people to participate. That's federal. He can't blackmail people and expect the government to look the other way, legal experts explained about Diddy's mounting charges. Everywhere we look, new details keep leaking out like water through a cracked dam. Court TV insiders claim the Shakur family has found new leads that Las Vegas PD and LAPD detectives missed for decades of investigation. Diddy, for his part, has always called the murder accusations completely ridiculous through his representatives. But his name keeps surfacing in police transcripts, documentaries, and even memoirs of the men who say they were in the car that night.
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? if the federal government wants him to cooperate and they're gonna cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70, that's when they start talking about letting him come to a half.
As one former detective put it, it's been the worst kept secret in Compton for years. And still, nobody wanted to be the first to say it in open court, at least not until now when everything is falling apart. He said this on your platform that he put up $1 million to get Tupac. Sources confirmed about statements made during recorded interviews. Yeah, correct. He was around Puffy, and Puffy made that comment about wanting Tupac eliminated. All the while, Diddy's world continues shrinking around him like a noose getting tighter. 2 of his mansions were raided by federal agents. His chief of staff is being compared to Ghislaine Maxwell for allegedly arranging his infamous parties, and more lawsuits drop every single week. Former friends and industry insiders are suddenly eager to talk to investigators and prosecutors. The family of Notorious B.I.G., who was gunned down just months after Tupac in what many believe was retaliation, are also watching these developments closely. The timeline has never been messier, the stakes never higher, and now comes the ultimate chess move. The Shakur family's legal team, led by powerhouse attorney Alex Spiro, is reportedly preparing to subpoena records, pursue wrongful death claims, and drag the hip-hop rivalry from the shadows of the 1990s into the bright lights of federal court in 2025. Spiro is the same attorney now representing NYC's embattled mayor on bribery charges, and he doesn't take cases he can't win. We can feel the tension building as everyone, prosecutors, defense teams, fans, haters, even the holdouts who believe Tupac is sipping rum in Havana, waits for the next bombshell to drop. Always said, "I'm not going to live past a certain time. I know I'm going to get shot up." He always knew that. That was the one thing that he did know. Family members revealed about Tupac's premonitions of his own death. Of course, nobody's talking on the record yet. Not Diddy's legal team, not Las Vegas cops, not the U.S. Attorney's Office, not even Mopreme himself. But the rumors are boiling over like a pot left too long on the stove. Behind closed doors, the family's investigators are hunting for witnesses, searching for bank records, and retracing every step from the Vegas Strip to the Caribbean islands where Tupac allegedly found refuge. Even the conspiracy theorists don't sound quite so crazy anymore when you consider the evidence. The posthumous albums, the mysterious exit of Tupac and entrance of Machiavelli, the liner notes, the allegedly misspelled coroner's report, all fuel for a fire that's burned for nearly 3 decades. The real question nobody dares ask out loud is this: if Tupac really is alive, what's been keeping him hidden all these years? Fear of retaliation? A private deal with law enforcement? Or just the world's most epic long game, waiting for the perfect moment to burn it all down? One thing's absolutely certain. Diddy, once the undisputed king of the charts and the music industry, is no longer the king of anything except nervous glances in federal courtrooms. Every legal expert agrees that if even a fraction of these new allegations stick, he's staring at a prison sentence longer than his entire discographies, and if Tupac actually steps into that witness box, all bets are completely off the table. This could be the moment where legends are either reborn or finally destroyed forever. So what do y'all think? Is Tupac really alive and ready to testify? Or is this the last desperate gasp of hip-hop's greatest mystery? Drop your wildest theories in the comments, because this story is far from over, and the next revelation could change everything we thought we knew about that night in Vegas.